compost a kitchen waste. So why do we have to do this? Because the maximum number of waste that goes out from a house is from the kitchen peels and the vegetable peels and waste from the kitchen. So once we start composting at home, there is so much more less that goes into landfills. So this is an easy method to reduce landfills out here. Okay, now to start with our compost, we need we can take any container. So any container, we need to use these holes. Now here for this purpose, we've taken a terracotta pot where we've punched some holes. Now these holes will allow oxygen to come inside, so the compost becomes this thing. So we have a hole at the bottom, and then we have punched about 5 holes out here. So you can take up any pot like this. There are kambas which comes with ready-made holes, and then you can also use any recycled paint, plastic boxes or anything, or any size big containers. Punch some hole, and then we can start composting in that. Okay. Now what else we need for composting is these, your kitchen peels and your kitchen waste. In this you can see we have the kitchen vegetable peels. Okay, we have some fruit peels, and then we have coffee powder here. We can add some eggshells, and all these can go into a compost. Even paper, these will also compost, so paper can be used. So this bag that we have here, all these are the source of nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen plus what we also need to add is the carbon part of it. Now this is dry leaves that we have here. So what happens during the compost, the science behind composting is, when we add this nitrogen and this carbon with air, we get a fresh compost which we have here. So this is the output. This is how you will have nice earthen compost from your peel. So these have got transformed into something like this. This is a very high source of nutrition for all your plants. So you should probably be able to do your small terrace garden. Once you start composting, then you can use this and you can plant vegetables, and you can have some organic vegetables at home. So these are the basics that we need for compost. So we have this container with the holes punched for oxygen, and we have a nitrogen source, we have a carbon source. So what we are going to do now is add some paper down, because we have some holes here, and whatever the water that will be there from all your peels, this will come to the bottom of the pot. So we're going to tear some paper right here and then add it down, okay, to the base of this pot, and so some paper just to the bottom. And to this we are going to add all our peels and all our waste. Now to this, you've seen that we've added all the mixture that we had, all our source of nitrogen we've added here. Now to move on to the next source, which is the carbon source. Now we are going to add these dry leaves. So every day when you add a little bit of greens, do add these browns, because these browns will dry your pot, and this is going to convert your kitchen waste into an organic manure. Okay. Now we can use you can use any stick or any tool to churn them every day. That is what you're supposed to do. You churn them so that it mixes well, and then it composts well. Okay, so now, okay, so I'm churning this whole mixture so that the browns and the greens mix well. These browns will allow these greens to dry up, and then every day when you add this in this proportion, when you add to this mixture of greens, and it is going to start composting. Now to bring in some enzymes and to strengthen your compost, we could also add some buttermilk, because this buttermilk, a little portion of it, like if you add them and then give a good churn, And we could also, and even this like buttermilk you can also add some fun compost which you have done earlier or what you get in the stores. Now this organic compost, a little bit of this if you add, this will also start the composting process. So this will act as a source to start the composting process. So I'm adding a little bit of that as well. And there I'm done with this. So post this exercise, what we should do is, if it is a drum, you could just place it in one corner of your balcony, or you can even place it in one corner in your kitchen. If you want to place some pot like this, probably use, now we have used a tire, or we have recycled, like we've used an old tire to place our pot, and then we need to close this with any lid. You can use a old plate or anything. So we are using matka top to close this. Now this is ready and it is going to start composting. This will take about 45 to 60 days, depending upon that. Within 60 days you will have an output as good as this. And this is a very, very healthy source again for your garden. And this is if this will smell like, this smells like raw earth. So the same, whatever ingredients have gone in there has been coming out as this as in 60 days. So this has a very, very good smell and very, very healthy for your plants. Okay, now you will be wondering if this is going to smell, and what if there is a lot of flies or ants or all these maggots and fruit flies and things like that when it starts coming into the house. Yes, if the mixture is too wet, then such issues might come up. So what you should do is you should find the right balance between the brown and the green. So you will know as you keep adding that how it is drying up. So if you feel you're moist, it is too moist, and if you feel the compost is too soggy, then add more browns to it. And then as a troubleshooting, you can also add turmeric or chili powder a little bit to avoid these fruit flies and maggots into this. So it is a right balance. Now how do we place, like what we do is we have 3 pots. So we start filling on the pot on the top. Once that pot gets filled totally, we push that down and then we place like this. Now this is a pot which is already filled, so we have this at the bottom and then we have one on top. Now we can add up to 3 pots, so that for between 60 days you can just keep using these 3 pots again and again. Now so it again depends upon each one's convenience, and if you are a big family and you feel these pots are not enough, you can use big drums, have 2 or 3 drums and do it like that. Now, or if you are a small family where your kitchen waste is much less, so you could stack up 3 and then keep using one by one. And don't forget, you have to churn all the once the pot gets over and it's put down, just remember to churn all of it, not just the one that you are adding on top. Keep churning the ones which have gone down as well. Once you start composting, each of you will understand how easy it is. It will just take you about 5 minutes in a day, probably, just to give a churn. Mix your brown and green, then give it a churn, and that's it. So you know that once it starts composting, it's very easy. You're going to realize how much of waste you're going to reduce into throwing outside. So when we started it, we realized that every day we used to throw some one packet or 2 packets outside. Now we hardly throw anything, nothing goes out of the house. So it's a very, very nice feeling. Once you start composting, you will never want to leave it. So do start composting, do start doing this at your houses, and if you have any issues, do write to us. We are there to help and we are there to support. We want to take this message to a lot of more people, and that's why we did this video for you. So I'm sure after this you're going to start composting. Please do start today.